Hey, I'm Lowell. This is Pacific Solo. I have to prepare myself for the greatest challenge of my life, crossing the North Pacific via what I'm calling Nemo North, the place in the North Pacific furthest away from land in any direction, and to take you there with me via this channel. I've been asked recently what tips I'm picking up for my eventual crossing of the North Pacific, tips that will help me be by myself. And of course, this is a good time to learn. To be frank, I feel pretty lucky. My self-imposed seclusion is half my time on a sailboat and the other time, half the time in a log house on a mountainside, and an electric car to get me between the two. So my bubble is a nice bubble. And I feel desperately bad for others whose seclusion is much less pleasant than mine. I think of my own mother in her 90s for 5 weeks, not allowed to leave her room. And when she poked her head out occasionally, she said a voice would boom, "Get back in your room." So I know that many people have it much, much worse than me. Having said that, for over the last year, I've been thinking about words such as isolation, solitude, loneliness, even madness, because apparently hallucinations, hearing voices, nightmares are part of many solo sailors' passages. Many do go insane. So I want to not only survive my North Pacific crossing, but I want to thrive. So I have identified 3 tips to self. And these 3 tips to self are really contemplating 3 horizons, 3 different views that I want to have in my crossing. So tip number 1 has to do with view number 1, horizon number 1. And that is to look out the windows, the portholes of my boat, at the distant horizon and ponder the possibilities of life. To think of the expanse that's out there beyond me and be inspired by it. Tip number 2 is to look near and at the tiny and try to find the magical. And I was reminded of a great novel written 300 years ago by a Frenchman who was confined for 6 weeks, and he wrote a best-selling book called Journeys Through My Bedroom. And he explored the microscopic, the small. He even wrote a sequel, Journey Through My Bedroom at Nighttime, and that journey took him onto his balcony. So there's something magical about the small. And then thirdly, the 3rd tip to self is the 3rd horizon, which is the inner horizon. And when looking inwards, looking for the comedy, for the laughter. And I have found lots of reasons to laugh at myself, but my own mistakes. But laughter is a great stimulus. In fact, I'm finding afresh that laughter itself is a contagion. It's a contagion of joy. So those are the 3 things I'm learning thus far to help me in my eventual crossing of the Pacific. I'd love to know what you're learning. Be safe, stay well.